Well, hello, welcome to I Love Gay today. And we are here with George Daigle from WERU Radio. How are you?
Well, hello, how are you? And you can shorthand the name of the station is We Are You Ready.
That that now I get it. I've been seeing you and I have been connected for years and we've been engaged with each
Yeah,
other and share and it's like, yeah, and one of those little details learning on the interview. I did not even think about that.
no worries, no worries. It's an opportunity to educate, and that's what this is all about. Exchange of
Exactly.
information. Yes, yes,
What's worse
indeed.
is that I was just in Atlanta. IGLTA had their convention, first convention a lot of us had been to in like 2 years, and so we all were down there. And I don't know if you know Miko from Meek Productions. He was
Yes, I do.
yeah, he was there with us. Spent some time. Daniel Claiborne. There was quite a number of locals that came in and and just became part of the convention there, and it was really really nice.
Unfortunately, I was traveling for work, so more often than not, I miss all of the great things. So living online is my existence, really.
Yeah, next time.
Next time, next time.
Exactly. So Nova, tell us a little bit about. I mean, I've followed you and I've seen kind of a lot of the content you've been posting, but you've got some amazing. You're an online radio station, if nothing else, and yeah, tell us a little bit about kind of that little niche you've carved out for yourself.
Well, We Are You Radio is a streaming radio station. You can hear us on iHeart Radio, the app. You can hear us on our website, weruradio.com or weareyouradio.com. Or you can also listen to us on our own app. You can get it in the Google Store, Android Store. And how it started, really simple. I was looking for a playlist, an urban pride playlist, which we'll talk about urban in a minute.
Yeah.
But the list that I kept finding didn't have the sound or the flavor, if you will, that I was looking for. And so as I began to look for a pride list, I began to discover all of these extraordinary, talented LGBTQ artists, artists like Seven Deep and Shia Diamond, and of course, Big Frida, Virgo Husky. As I started naming names, I'm going to be in trouble now. But all of these extraordinary artists who I'd never heard of. I've worked in radio for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I had never heard of these artists. And I thought to myself, you know what? Let me create a platform where these artists can be featured.
Yeah.
So We Are You Radio was born, and here it exists.
Wow. So at the end of the day, you're just really helping bring voices that in especially in a previous lifetime, so to speak, 10, 20 years ago, these voices may have never been heard. And with today's technology, it's everything's turned upside down.
Well, what's really interesting is that we've always had those voices. Billy Porter, for one, was an R&B artist before he became the artist that we know him as today. But he couldn't be out at that time. And what's unique about the artists that we play here on We Are You Radio, they are out artists who identify, gay, bi, non-binary as well. So that's the unique spin of what we're doing, is that they're living in their truth and speaking from the voices that they live in, not kind of coexisting and changing the pronouns to please the masses.
Yeah, yeah. But now you've really grown. Not only do you have these various artists that I was seeing on your site, but you even have different programming and shows throughout the day.
You know what? I have been lucky to connect with some really talented people. We start off with the We Are You Morning Crew, which is a group of allies and gay, bi hosts who talk about trending topics, give our own spin on what we feel about it. In the midday, I have a good friend of mine who is also an ally, Diamond, comes on in the midday. And in the afternoon, the icon, who I will give all of the titles to, the icon, the legend, the comedian, Miss Sophia is on in the afternoon. If you've ever been in Atlanta at any club, in any certain neighborhood, then you know that name. So I am blessed to have her. And then another icon, he's over in New York City, DJ Baker, Delroy, you may not know him as, or just be dirty to some of you. He's also in the station. So Pete Sibley comes in on Saturdays with house music from 10 until 4, 10 until 2. We have Wellness Wednesday with D.B. Marshall. just a host of programming from voices that are allies and a part of the LGBTQ community. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
It shows from everything I've seen you posting over the years. But I mean, even before getting into some of that, I was going to ask you but I mean, you've really also focused a lot on the distribution side. I mean, you're not only on Apple Music and Google and you're in the Google App Store, but also iHeartRadio and Spotify. I mean, you've really covered the gamut when it comes to making sure that they can find you.
You know, the pandemic made it impossible not to gravitate toward all of the platforms that are available to stretch the length of your voice or the reach of your voice. So yeah, all of those Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, Google, Apple Radio, all of those tools we've taken a grasp to and attaching to you guys. So I've been seeing this ILoveGay, hashtag or on Twitter, and I'm like, who are these people? And there's I Love Gay, and there's I Love Gay Music, and there's I Love Gay Travel, and I Love Gay ATL, and there's all of it out there. So I was like, wow, another way to reach out and stretch our voices and become a part of a global community that is, again, speaking in their own language. For so long, we were kind of a niche market, if you will, or a niche community or a tight-knit community that people didn't really realize touch every industry in the world, from fashion to music to television, and you name it. So being a part of this virtual community, like with ILoveGay, everything, is that one? If you don't, you should get it. Yeah, so being a part of that has really, again, stretched our voice. So I'm excited about what we're doing right now.
Well, it's nice to hear that, because I feel like you see us for who we are and how we want to be seen. I mean, that's what we try to create. My history was simply that I created an LGBT online website media company back 26 years ago, when there was kind of no roadmap for how to do this. So we kind of stumbled along, try to figure out what worked and what didn't. But that was then, where it was an internet web-based portal, which became kind of an online community. And that grew up over the years, and we sold that. But ever since then, I never really saw a future of where media can go from there, even though there was MySpace and Facebook. But Twitter gave us the first insight into where things could go. And that's because each one of our profiles, I Love Gay Music, I Love Gay Atlanta, each one speaks to and just tries to become part of the community that they're designed to serve. And so we don't ever want to be the largest or the biggest voice. We just want to be part of it. And you were always a part of that with us. And I think you saw that. And that's going to be our direction of growth over the next 10, 20 years, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching this, wherever you're watching, and you have not, looked or followed any of the ILoveGay, you should, especially if you're an LGBTQ business owner, entertainer, writer, whatever your thing is, attached to that, and then join the voices. You'd be surprised that there are other people that are speaking your language, that are walking with you on the same path, maybe have some insights and information that can help you. And, we see life virtually now, but really virtual is a new connection. So even though you may connect in a virtual space, it may come outside of that, and who knows what the opportunities may be from that.
Yeah, no, thank you. And like I said, in a nutshell, our job is to connect with and be a part of, individual communities, but then also to amplify those voices. I think that's probably the part that keeps us the most aligned, is we both see ourselves. We're not the voice. I'm not the voice of the gay community anywhere around the world. We're just part of, and we're there to help amplify or bring to the forefront some of the voices that we find and we see. And it seems that you're very aligned to do the same. Thank you.
I do want to say that I live for your hello. I live for that. I live for that. I live for that. I live for that. I really do. Oh, and I thought that's how you're going to open it up. So I was just waiting for that.
Did I?
I don't know if you did. Hello. You didn't do the big one. I didn't get the big one.
We're going to find out when we watch this. But yeah, and it's also one of those things that, during the pandemic, when it started, this was something that I had never done before. So the silver lining of some of the terrible things we've had to go through over the last 2 years is, things like this, but also it's, as you were describing, there's been kind of an acceleration in a lot of things were already happening. A lot of technology and media and social media, and like just how people communicated and also worked together. But I think the pandemic accelerated a lot of that, so that like Zoom, for example, and what we're doing right here, all of a sudden people quickly became much more comfortable with that. And then you saw pride festivals and all these different things trying to kind of find their way in there. It didn't mean that they found the right answers yet, but some of them have. And I think in the future we're going to see a lot of things, and a lot of direction has been set by the disruption that COVID brought to us.
Yeah, disruption and the chaos brought connection. Boy, somebody put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, it really, really did. So congratulations on what you guys do. And as I said earlier, but I'll say it on camera, I really want to be a part of the community. And wherever that navigates, whatever that looks like in the future, I definitely want We Are You Radio to be an integral part of that as we continue to push and going in on the voices that are out there in the virtual world.
Well, I love that, and love to explore that further with you after this. And but mostly it's just like I said, I've loved what you've been doing, and I was really glad that you were able to take a few moments of your time to kind of share a bit of what you've been up to with our audience.
Yeah. If I can, just a few more minutes. If you are an LGBTQ artist talking to you, and you've got a project, and you've got it's all copyrighted and everything first and foremost, and you are a rapper, a singer, performer, we'd love to get your music. We want to give you a platform. We even love to interview you at some point in time. We have space, our studio is right here in Atlanta, a stone's throw from the airport. So if you're coming in town to perform, if you're an ally, you don't have to be an LGBTQ artist. If you're an ally of the community, send us your music at WERUradio@gmail.com. We'd love to get it clean and edited, because our desire, speaking this forward, our desire is to take this global, and we feel that to present it to the masses, just kind of clean it up a little bit. Now, after 7 o'clock, we rough it up with DJ Baker. There's no editing. But during the day, we want some edited music. So send that to us in an MP3 form. Wow, was this a commercial? And that's thank you.
That's perfect. And I'm going to make sure to link to everything that you do and your channels and so forth, especially when we post this on YouTube as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you for this time.
And thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
And it feels good, so good.